Hello and welcome back. Today we want to talk about a very nice topic. And that topic is actually the number one thing why businesses are failing, especially in the IT sector and also in the online sector. And I guess this is a very important topic for people that are longer in the game already. And I see a lot of companies that are like 10, even 20 years in the game and still are not doing this correctly. But also it's a very good strategy to be very successful pretty fast, even if you're starting out an IT company or online company right from the beginning. So, and the idea that we are talking about is actually niching. So, I can't stress this enough. I think a lot of people heard about how important it is to niche, but they still don't want to believe it. And I even see this with a lot of startups that I'm helping and that I'm coaching. Even when they are doing startups, IT startups, the software that they want to develop is also very broad. So let's talk firstly about what is wrong about that model, and then about not niching, and then talk about why this is so important and what can like really make the difference here. So first of all, just imagine this. Let's do two examples. Let's say you are going to start an IT company that is a startup and actually wants to develop a software that kind of is just like changing the world or whatever you want to achieve with your startup. So a lot of people that I see, when they're doing something like this, they always think so much about bringing in a technology that can serve any problems whatsoever, or if they are niched, a software that can kind of like solve for this niche every problem. So that could be that you are doing a specific sector, and let's say you are doing something for e-commerce, and you want to do it for every kind of company because it's e-commerce, right? So why it's niche, it's e-commerce. No, it's like kind of not nowadays. Most of the things that are businesses are somehow related to something technical or something online. And even like a lot of brands that are selling products, they also have e-commerce. So that's really not a niche working in e-commerce. It's super broad, basically, for everywhere. So, and it's much more important to actually focus on a specific part of e-commerce or a specific type of products that needs to be sold or a specific size of companies. That's much more important than actually what you will kind of like bring to a solution. And the main reasons behind this is if you want to make it work for everybody, first of all, it can be very expensive to do this and basically impossible to complete that challenge. Second of all, it would be very hard for people to understand if this is really the product for them or not. Because most probably you will try to do it such in a way that it kind of like works for everybody, what means that it basically doesn't work for anybody really good. And it's much better to really focus on a specific niche and then do it for them, make it good product, make a good first attempt or like MVP. I don't like that word that much, but yeah, making some kind of very small product that actually can work for a very small niche very well and do it with them. And then after some time you can even expand if you want. But still, even if you look at the biggest companies in the world, the biggest IT companies, let's say Adobe, let's say Apple, let's say Microsoft, they are still very niched. So let's say Adobe, for example, they have a bunch of different tools and crazy amount of different tools that you can use, but they are still all for people that do creative work. And that's still a very big, like very focused niche, even if the company is super big. And the same goes for a lot of other of these. So the other thing is, let's say you are starting an IT agency and you actually want to do some services for clients, like building websites, like I can recommend because it's a very nice business model. You can watch my video about it. Or you are doing some social media marketing or whatsoever. And here as well, you kind of like are very like it's a very good idea to really niche down, because the best thing to shine is if you are doing a good work, and doing a good work comes from experience and actually doing projects like this before and bringing results for that specific kind of client type that you want to target. And it can be very hard if you're always like taking whoever comes into your door and you always have to do something for them. It can be very hard because it's always kind of like a new thing that you have to do. And there's a lot of research involved in it. You have to do a lot of testing. You have to see what works for the group. You have to see, you maybe need to hire some additional people that are like a little bit more familiar with the sector, and so on and so on. And it can be even, like I see this for a lot of IT companies that do custom IT solutions. Imagine it here as well. If you are doing different software development and you're using different tools and different program languages and so on, it can be very tough because you need to hire more and more people to actually keep up with the demand that these type of clients are actually searching for. So it's a very, very good idea to really focus on your specific niche. And you should kind of think about it like this. So, of course, finding your niche is not that easy for some people because it's not that kind of easy to decide, right? It's kind of like when you are sitting in front of a big collection of DVDs. Yeah, I'm old school, I know. Or you're sitting in front of Netflix, let's say it like this, and you kind of like want to decide what to watch. And sometimes it can take hours and hours for some people to decide what they watch, or like at least an hour sometimes to actually decide what you can watch. And you could already have watched the movie in that time, maybe, while you're selecting. And same goes, of course, by selecting the niche. But there's one thing that I can give you that kind of like helps with making this decision, and that is that it's anyway a good idea to make one company very specific for one kind of niche, and then scaling it, and then maybe even selling it or starting a new company beside that focus on a different niche where you can use again the knowledge that you have, but you are doing it for a different niche. So you don't have to decide for, okay, in the beginning you should focus on one, but not long term. You don't have to decide what niche you want to do for the rest of your life. You can do one niche with one business, and then you can do another niche with another business. That's no problem. And that maybe helps you a little bit, like taking away that kind of feeling, okay, I have to find my perfect niche. I didn't. I decided to then focus on what I'm best. And that is actually in building IT companies, building website development companies, building startups. And now I'm helping, like I'm building these startups and I'm helping IT companies to actually, with my program, to get to the point where they actually can make a lot of profit with their company. So that's also a niche, but it's just something that I do. And with one of the other startups that I'm doing, I'm focusing on a different sector. So there are a lot of ways to actually do it, but it's very important to focus with one company on one specific niche. The other thing that you can really do to differentiate yourself even more and getting more clients, and by the way, if you're really niched, it will be so much easier to get clients, because if you are really specific to the needs of a specific niche, then first of all, the people will trust you pretty fast because they think, okay, you know what you're doing. You can collect a lot of use cases and examples that work for similar companies. And overall, they will just have a lot more trust that you know what you're talking about. And the chances they will really go with you is much higher. So it's much easier to get clients here, but it's also much easier to charge higher amounts actually for it. And at the same time, and really think about this, at the same time, you can save so much costs. So you can have clients faster. You can have the you can have them pay bigger amounts, and you can also like reduce your cost drastically. So yeah, that's kind of like a free win step that is very easy to implement and very easy to do. So you can think about when you're doing niching, even about different levels. So it's not that important that you are actually just saying, okay, I want to focus on a specific niche. That would be already good. Like, for example, yeah, I don't want to put any like many examples in your mouth, but let's say you want to do real estate agents, like I did with one of my companies early on, and this company. But you are not only focusing on real estate. You can think about very different steps, like other factors, how you can really narrow this niche down. So that could be, for example, demographics. It could be like where are these companies located? So it could be that you are like really focusing on a state. It could be focusing on a city. It could be focusing on a country. But it can also be even in a city in a specific area. That if there are many in this area, it can be even better to actually do only a specific thing. And then you can also think about like how old is the company, how many employees do they have, how much revenue do they do, how at what point in their company are they, what challenges do they have? Because different type of company sizes will have different challenges, and you can even narrow this down. And then you can also kind of like think about what are the specific segments in their market. So there's also people can also specialize in real estate for private house owners or business house or like offices, or they can focus on making selling like development projects for real estate and all of that stuff. And you can select really the ones that are the best fit for you. And this even like makes this easier and better. And the more experience you get in it, the more you are able to actually help them. And just imagine if you go to a real estate agent and tell them, hey, I'm focusing on real estate and I'm focusing on office real estate that actually already have a team of 6 people and now want to actually scale to like not having 20 clients per month, but actually having 100 clients per month. That could be very specific. And if you will find these people, then how do you think they will feel when they hear this and they say, yeah, that's exactly what we need right now? And yeah, of course, the only downside here is that you are not able to get all of the, like, there are not so many clients on a specific niche. But to be honest, if you become the leader in a specific niche, you will have much more clients than you if you are competing against every other company that is also doing development for everybody. So that can be really, really like a factor where you say, okay, this scares me, but there in your niche, there will be a lot of clients. And if you are able to get many of these because you are very specific, you are much better off than just like taking the broad approach. And many companies are still doing this. And they are, because the reason why they are doing it, and I understand it, of course, but it's not a good idea, is that they don't want to leave money on the table. So getting clients in especially IT or any kind of online services or so, it's not that easy. It's actually hard, and there's a lot of competition. And that's why these people say, okay, I don't want to leave money on the table. So if there's somebody coming to me, I make it work, no problem. I will hire the right people, and we will make it work, no problem solved. But yeah, once again, that will just increase your costs and also increase your revenue. But you don't want increasing costs and revenue because then you make no profits. What you want is having profits. And with this strategy, you can earn much more profits than you would actually earn when you are serving everybody. So saying no to some people can really open up the door for huge potential. So yeah, this is just something that I want to share with you for free. And I know a lot of IT companies don't do it, and I hope I will change that for many of them as well. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.